Hi, my name is Asdru Sierra and you're watching Burl TV. When I was a kid, I went to Hamilton Music Academy, and that's where a lot of kids that back then became amazing engineers and producers and musicians, like Manny Marroquin, who's my compadre, who's, if you know who he is, you know, he's amazing. And Michael Elizondo, who, I mean, the Dr. Dre people, like Richard Heredia, the guy that they call him Segal, who's an engineer there. And then there's me, you know, I did some stuff. Ozomatli started in 1995. Being a musician in LA in that time, you had to learn every kind of style. That's what this band was. It was just a mixture of everything from cumbias to funk to everything. You just had to play it all. I think back then nobody could really figure out what to do with us because we played so many styles and so many things and in a couple of different languages, and people didn't know what box to put us in. And I remember being in my early 20s and just telling the record label guy, just put us under O, you know, Ozomatli, just do that. And they didn't like that very much, but they kind of figured it out eventually. I remember when we won that first Grammy for Embrace the Chaos. It was funny because the guy was Emilio Stefan. And when he started announcing our name, he said Manu Chao, right? He says, and Juanes. And then he says, Ozomatli, embrace the Chaos. And it's like, that's not right. And so when we won, he goes, Ozomatli, embrace the Chaos. And he said it like that, and not embrace the chaos. And I was like, wait, that's not us. Did he say Manu Chao? And like, dude, you won. It's like, what? You know, that was bananas. That was an amazing feeling. When we won again, we won 2 Grammys. We won the Latin Grammy when it first started, and we won the regular Grammy for that same category for street signs. And street signs, they learned how to say our name right and everything, and it was really easy. And it was great, man. That album for me was at the epitome of the height of what I felt confident in, what I could do musically, what I could record, what I could write. And I'm really proud of that album. My first Burl unit that I had was the B16, the mothership. I remember having 4 amazing channels with 4 amazing preamps on it. And man, I played my horn into it. I sang into it, and it just sounds clean and beautiful. And when you add the color a little bit, you can manipulate to make it sound just a little bit of tape sound, you know, and it has that BX little button you could push and it just sounds great, you know. And I don't know, man, after that, it just changed everything, because whatever I had working on before and then moving on to this, I would play it back or I would send it to a guy that I was mixing with, and he'd be like, man, this sounds really different compared to that other stuff, because it was in between a project that I was working on, and I had to re-record all my trumpets, because whenever I had like my old files versus the new stuff that I did with Burl, when the director would give notes, it just sounded really different. It sounded better, but you could tell you were like, wow, that really sounds different now that you got the Burl stuff, bro. So I had to redo all my horns on this one project. It was such a, oh man. I mean, I think that's the problem. Once you have something that's good, it's like, you can't go back anymore. I've moved to the bad 16s and the BDA 16s. When I was going from just the 4 channels with the mothership that I had before with Burl, going from that to the Burl Black, I have 20 channels of amazing. So 4 of those channels are from my old mothership, with the 4 preamps that it comes with. Adding another 16 channels of Burl really helps me in my workflow, because I'm able to have all my microphones on when I do my work. This is the living room, but it's also the live room. So I'm able to have snare top, snare bottom, 2 different kind of kicks, 2 really cool stereo overheads, ribbon mics, rack floor, you know, and then the room sound. that's what Burl is, man. I couldn't be happier with the way things sound. And honestly, it's turned into a problem because I just don't leave my house. Yeah, it's sad, but you know, I don't need to go to some expensive studio out in Hollywood to be able to do this anymore. And that's kind of where the world is going. But now I feel really good, because before I felt like I'm sacrificing a bit of quality just to get, you know, the gig done. But now I don't feel like I am. It's limitless at this point, you know, what we can do. Yeah, you could just use a stereo mic, you could use 8 channels, but why'd have 8 when you could have 16?